Are you in a toxic relationship with a female who constantly manipulates and controls you? Perhaps it didn't start that way, but over time, it seems she changed and is no longer the woman who caught your attention. If this sounds familiar, then make sure to watch this video until the end. Because today, we're shining a light on one of the most dangerous types of narcissists, which is the covert one. That is, they hide behind a mask of charm and manipulation, leaving their victims feeling confused and broken when the truth unfolds. In this video, we'll reveal the top 8 strategies of a female covert narcissist that could be sabotaging your life. Number 1. She has established boundaries and expects you to completely follow them. The covert female narcissist is super strict with her boundaries because it's one of her ways to control and manipulate you. And guess what? She expects you to follow them without question. If you don't, she'll guilt trip or gaslight you until you feel awful about yourself. But what about your boundaries? Well, those don't matter to her. Any rules or needs you have will be ignored, and whatever you want is unimportant or stupid. Talk about double standards. Number 2, she scores your performance. If she often grades your performance to keep you off balance, then you're likely dealing with a covert female narcissist. They can even compare your performance to others or your past actions to make you feel like you're never good enough. For example, she might say something like, "You were only a 5 out of 10 yesterday," or, "That trip was maybe 30% of what I was hoping for." Comments like these then leave you second-guessing yourself and feeling like you'll never meet her expectations, which also seem to be constantly changing. She's also always unhappy, no matter how much love, compliments, or effort you give. Nothing ever feels like it's enough for her. And let's not forget, she's quick to point out flaws, criticize, or tear down your efforts, no matter how hard you try. It's like everything you do is seen as the bare minimum, and she makes sure you know you need to step it up if you want to stay in her good books. Now, maybe you're thinking, "I just need to try a little harder, a little longer." But that's not true. And if you grew up with a parent you could never please, you might be falling into the same old pattern. That is, you're working overtime to chase scraps of approval in a game that's already rigged against you. Number 3, she'll show you her vulnerability early on, then use it against you. A female covert narcissist often starts the relationship by opening up about her most personal and vulnerable experiences, making it seem like she deeply trusts you. She does this early on, so you'll feel like you're someone truly special to her. She might even say she's never trusted anyone like this before. But then, once the initial love-bombing phase is over, things take a turn. Suddenly, she acts like trusting you is a huge mistake. She may even start accusing you of making her feel insecure, unsafe, or ignored. And she might say you're not putting her first, not standing up for her, or not keeping your promises. What's worse, she'll make you believe this shift is entirely your fault. And if you want to bring back the loving, idealized version of her you first fell for, you have to prove yourself by showing her you're good enough, trustworthy, and capable of meeting all her needs. All the pressure to make the relationship work ends up squarely on your shoulders. And to keep you invested in the long run, she offers just enough hope to keep you going. She throws you breadcrumbs, like a nice moment together, a meaningful conversation, even intimacy. But then, out of nowhere, something small sets her off. Suddenly, the dynamic shifts. She's disappointed again, pulling back, blaming you, rejecting you. And the cycle begins anew. This cycle of on and off reinforcement is teaching you to believe there's something wrong with you, that you're not good enough and need to change to meet her expectations. And when you don't, you feel like you're not worthy, not just of her, but of anyone else too. Number 4, you never win against her. Whatever you say or do, it's going to feel like the wrong move with her every single time. Take an argument, for example. If you head out for a walk to cool off because you don't want to say something you can never take back, she'll say you're running away and avoiding the issue. But if you stay, she'll say you're being too confrontational. Either way, it feels like a lose-lose situation to you. By the way, make sure to subscribe if you've learned something new today. Number 5, she's passive-aggressive. A female covert narcissist often uses subtle, passive-aggressive tactics. For instance, she has a way of stirring up conflicts out of nowhere, like accusing you of being negative, moody, or having an attitude even when everything is completely fine. You could stay totally calm, but she'll keep pushing, insisting something's wrong until you eventually get frustrated. She might even try to bait you into an argument that feels completely unnecessary. And as soon as you react, the spotlight shifts to your response, conveniently taking the attention off her behavior. Or instead of flat out accusing you of being unreasonable, she might just act upset but refuse to tell you what's wrong. She also shuts down any chance to talk it out, so you're left guessing and apologizing, yet still trying to figure out what caused it all. Truth is, there probably wasn't a real issue. It was made up. This kind of behavior is a way to keep control and leave you thinking you're the problem. Number 6. She needs to know everything you're doing and be in control. When you go on a grocery run, hit the gym, or even have a conversation with someone, the female covert narcissist needs to be aware of it all. And she doesn't just question what you do. She also critiques how you do it, as if you're incapable of getting anything right. On top of that, she constantly accuses you of various faults, making you feel the need to seek her approval for nearly every decision, as though you can't trust your judgment. But this behavior isn't always driven by jealousy. Often, it's simply about control. As a result, you find yourself paralyzed when it comes to making even the simplest decisions. You get terrified of triggering her guilt trips, silent treatments, or other negative reactions. All that chips away at your confidence, leaving you doubting yourself on even the smallest things. Number 7. She's defensive and never wrong. When you try to bring up something important or share what's bothering you with a female covert narcissist, chances are she'll dismiss it, downplay it, or shut you down completely. Don't expect her to really listen to your side or be open to compromise. And if she's even partly responsible for the issue, you won't see her take accountability or give a genuine apology. Now, on the rare occasion she does apologize, it's usually just a manipulative tactic. It's a way for her to twist things around and make you feel like it's your fault in the end. Number 8. She compares you to her past relationships. No matter what you do for a female covert narcissist, it's never enough. To make things worse, she'll often compare you to her exes in a way that leaves you feeling like you don't measure up. This can mess with your head, triggering that urge to prove yourself and show her you're just as good, if not better, than whoever came before. Meanwhile, she barely puts in any effort, but acts like she's the one carrying the whole relationship. Over time, you're left working harder and harder to make things work, not realizing that for every step you take forward, she's pulling you several steps back. And if you liked this video, then check out these related videos to see more. And make sure to subscribe and leave a comment saying, "I subscribed," and we will personally reply to your comment.